I now have something else I would like to show you that Mark covered in the first presentation of this year's seminar concerning the 948 ZF9HP48 transmission in the Acura MDX with an intermittent no forward condition. And this problem occurs in the 948 TE as well. What I have here is a shaft that came out of a 948 TE transmission where dog clutch A is severely damaged. But I wanted to show you these parts to give you an idea of how you can get into these parts. And this is the screw that breaks that Mark had showed with the Acura. But to get to this, you have to understand that this dog clutch is held through this piston with this roll pin, and it goes through this slot here. So this is what connects the dog clutch to the piston inside the shaft. So what you have to do is you have to drive the roll pin out, and then you actually have to pry the valve and cup plug out of the end of the shaft. And you can see that the cup plug has a hole at the end of it so that oil can get in to move this piston. Inside this piston is a valve that has orifice ends over here, which I will show you in a minute, that fits inside this piston. And this is what this screw and retainer holds in place. So I now have a PowerPoint that I want to show you explaining its operation. And by the way, you have this in the blue book on pages 5 through 10. And we do show you dog clutch A and dog clutch F. But here I show you a picture of it. And in the release position, this is your dog clutch A in the release position. You can see the roll pin. And now we're going to apply dog clutch A. And so you could see it moving up the slot. And so that piston is moving. Now, it engages this internal ring gear, which is also a sun gear, to drive it. So it has to mesh properly to prevent a grind. And so, again, these are the parts I just showed you. This is your dog clutch A. This is the end cup plug that has the hole in it, and your piston. We drove the roll pin out to get these items out. And then we took this screw off and the retainer that holds that valve in, and we took the valve out. Now mine happened to not be broken like the MDX that Mark shown. Mine was loose, it was backed out, and I would assume it'll eventually break, but it had already damaged dog clutch A severely. Now when you look at this valve that's inside the piston, it has orifices at either end of the valve. It has a 76 thousandths orifice at one end and a 48 thousandths orifice at the other end. And so I drew a hydraulic to show the function of this both on the apply and release. And so here is the piston, and it's located in the shaft in this position here. And so the 48 thousandths end of this valve faces the back end of the shaft, while the 76 thousandths end faces the front side of the shaft. And so here we're showing dog clutch A in the applied position. And so we have pressure coming in through the end plug, pushing on the piston, and now oil is being orificed through this valve, fills up the shaft, and it comes out to here through and into the valve body, where there is a sensor located in the valve body to be able to determine the position of dog clutch A. Over here, we're showing how it's released. This is showing the release side, and the release oil comes through these two sealing rings and comes down the shaft, and will go through, hit the piston, and will go through the 76 thousandths orifice to a 48 thousandths orifice, and then bleed out, going back to the valve body, once again hitting the sensor so that the computer will understand the position of dog clutch A, and it does the same thing for dog clutch F. Now what happens is when this screw backs out, or when it breaks, it can jam the piston up from being able to fully engage dog clutch A into that internal ring gear, sun gear assembly, causing it to grind and to damage. And here is a hydraulic that I had drawn several years ago. We're in the 9th gear position, TCC is applied, but both dog clutch A and dog clutch F are off, and it shows you how you've got release oil going into both dog clutches, and then at particularly dog clutch A, we see that oil going through that little valve that's in the piston, comes out, loops around, and eventually works its way back to a check valve and will hit the sensor inside the valve body so the computer can know the positions of these dog clutch.
Thank you for watching. For all Confirm Fix videos and unlimited technical support, become an ATSG member, your transmission tech solution. Click the membership link below.